7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm
like, well, holy shit, that was crazy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show, presented by TLR Coatings and Animal Crackers. And I'm just kidding. They're not a sponsor.
No.
He's back in studio. Let's ignore that. Anyway, Animal Crackers it is. So, we are wrapping up round 15. 15 deep already. Can you believe that?
I know, dude. What is it? It's not even a month till outdoor starts.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting close here.
Oh my god.
We gotta do that show too.
Oh, where?
Anyway, wrapping up round 15 here from Boston, Foxborough.
Whatever. Somewhere in Massachusetts.
Yeah, the Northeast. And actually, day race on Big Fox Network, and there was entertainment value there.
You think the ratings are good? Think the ratings? We made a comment about after that first heat race.
After that first heat race, yeah, I think they were great. I mean, you have two dudes going to the last corner together, and one dude comes out, and one dude's on the ground. I mean, I thought...
Well, and I don't want to plug another motorsport, but the fact that NASCAR was on afterwards, I think also helped, because people who are fans of NASCAR probably tuned in and be like, hey, you know, if I've never paid attention, I'll watch it for a little bit, and then, you know, I'll give you something to do before the race.
Well, NASCAR was on after, and soccer was on before.
Yep, so I mean... I think,
yeah, it probably definitely helped us. If we get over 1 million, I think that'd be cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because the highest number I've heard is 800,000 from this year. So, but anyway... let's get into the boring paperwork here. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're growing. I still see subscribers pop up every week. Few here, few there, so that's great. Share it with your friends. Get them to subscribe. Also, if you want to get even more action from us, follow us on Facebook. I do a Friday. I'm just going to call it Friday now. I do a Friday preview show.
Thursday's not working out.
Thursday's not working out for me well. So I do a Friday preview show, kind of news and notes from the week, and kind of just going forward into the weekend, thoughts on the track, etc., etc. You can also follow me on Instagram. I make it to some of the races. When I do, I share pictures and things like that on there. And I also, could you not eat while we're filming? God, man. I can hear you chewing. I know they can hear you chewing.
Sorry, guys.
Like, on the brakes, bro. Holy hell. God. Anyway, Instagram. I also post my fantasy picks on there, which I'm struggling hard in.
Didn't do well last night.
I don't know.
I got the first 3.
I don't remember, to be real honest with you. No, I didn't, because I had Tomac winning, but we'll get into that later. So anyway, yeah, you can follow us on there. If you do want to help support us monetarily wise, click any of the Amazon links down below. It'll take you to a page. You don't have to buy what it brings you to, but just follow that link through to Amazon and buy stuff, and we get a small slice of that. You can also support us on Patreon by donating. We did have one donation. I sent you some stuff. Hopefully you got it. If not, message me on Instagram, and I will get you some more stuff out in the mail. Don't lie to me, Adam. I will know.
He won't know.
I'll know. Anyway, and then we also have a couple of t-shirt designs on Teespring. They're not great. I'm looking to upgrade some of my software to design better t-shirts. So, better t-shirts coming in the next 12 months. I'm giving myself time.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, so, without any further ado, let's jump into this. Let's talk about the track. I'll give my thoughts first here, and things I've heard. Spongy was a word I heard, like a brownie, which none of those guys have eaten brownies in the top 10 in years. So I don't know how they would
I mean,
know.
Jason Anderson might. I know Ralph made a comment, but Anderson's a little bit like of a Chipotle freak, so I mean, he might, you know, splurge every now and then with brownies.
Doubtful. Maybe.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't know. Anyway, track wasn't super difficult. I am sad because I had called in the preview show. I thought there was going to be like a double and then 3 quads, and the 450 guys would be out of that long rhythm section. However, the way they built it, I was completely wrong. And even in the first practice, when I watched it, I went, ooh, yeah, I don't think there's going to be any quads.
Marv was tripling out of the table originally, though, on the far side rhythm section in practice. And then he realized, yeah, I have to stretch it way too much to even get on the table.
I was going to say, it was the rhythm section, if it wasn't built big enough, I don't think, to be able to do quads. If the jumps were bigger, it would have been.
The face takeoffs were too small, and as G'd out as they were, you couldn't get the lift.
Yep. So so no quads. There were also no berms.
Other than what was it? Well, where the Eli Marv incident was pretty much the only berm you had there, other than the obviously sand corner
and the net.
Where was the net at? I didn't pay attention to that. Before the finish?
No, I don't remember. We'll have to watch.
How do you like, though, that these 90 corners, I know there was, what, fucking one? But, like, before the second set of whoops, like, they pushed the berm so far out that at the point, people are just not even, like, fading that far. They're just literally squaring off down the straightaway. Like, dude, what's the point? You might as well just leave it flat because nobody's going to go out that far.
Yeah, it was dumb. And then the triples were sketchy.
That one before the beach corner was gnarly. Like, you had no transition, gnarly. And, I mean, that thing was literally straight up and down, so, like, if you bogged at all, you were done.
And we did see a lot, or, well, not a lot. We saw a few people come up short and case it hard.
I was a little surprised, though, that the track, with the rain that they got during the week, wasn't soft, or softer. You know, we talked about, oh, maybe they're going to get snow, because they did get snow in the Northeast a couple weeks ago and stuff. But I think, basically, what happened is that they got rain the day of that they were sculpting it, but they got the top base laid on just quick enough where it just started to rain, so it just sat on top, and then they dozed it up and stuff, because it got gnarly deep ruts. I mean, they were like, the ruts were probably about 2.5, 3 feet deep. Like, they were gnarly and square-edged, but it wasn't your typical soft Northeast race like it was when it's been in Massachusetts or, you know, New Jersey and, you know, New York or whatever and stuff. So I was a little surprised at that, but I mean, yeah, I don't know where the sponginess came from. I think that maybe
they said the faces of the jump. So, okay, I listened to the interviews, which I know you don't listen to that kind of stuff. I listened to the interviews, and they said when they did track walk, it was almost to the point of, like the start straight was asphalt, and then when you would walk on the actual rest of the track, it was like there was air pockets underneath it. So I wonder, like, if they were building it, if it started to rain, and then they put dry dirt over it, and so, like, this... It was almost like a cake that wasn't baked all the way, and so the center was wet, but the top was hard, and so
well, you could tell that the faces were soft, though, and I think that they were literally going in there because they were so straight up and down. There was no rounded base at the pocket where it would transition up. It literally goes straight up. You could tell, so they go there and doze it up and soften it up because they were too afraid of it being hard, everybody spinning on the face when the bike would G out. So you could tell, like, there was a soft base to it. But I'm sitting there watching and I go, yeah, man, that stuff's like concrete by the LCQs and stuff. So, I mean, there was no real separation other than the far side rhythm section. Like, could you get over it clean every lap? I mean, other than that, it was,
yeah,
you know, it was basic.
And the same thing. And
the whoops, though, I mean, dude, they were non-existent by the 250 main.
They were small.
I mean, dude, they got literally, they started to get cupped out, and then the faces, everybody, like, if they skipped across, they'd hit it with a rear wheel, and they just pack it, and they just pack it, and pack it, and pack it. And by the end of it, you're like, well, that's just, a freeway. Yeah. Like, there's nothing there.
Yep.
So I didn't like it. I mean, that was all because of how the dirt broke down, but I think had it even been tacky the whole time up until the mains, there was no real separation.
And we're back. Okay, so what were you saying?
No, I was just saying and stuff, you know, that the way the transitions were set up and stuff, like...
I was just saying and stuff. You know?
Yeah, I was just saying and stuff. I don't know. I couldn't remember. I didn't pay attention to what my last words were. But anyway, didn't like the track. I mean, it's pretty sad when you have a 353 before a triple and the 450s can't even get all the way over the landing and stuff. I mean, you were stretching it out, so I don't know. They could have done it a little bit different, but...
It wasn't great, but it is what it is. But let's get into the action, because there was some action. There was some drama. Oh, some major drama. Controversy. Yeah, buddy! Okay, 450s, we're getting into it. We're watching the main right now as we speak. But realistically, there's only one thing to talk about, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into this. Let's try to keep it under 20 minutes so that hopefully the battery doesn't die on us. I'm glad that you finished your snack.
Yeah, and you have somebody calling you.
I will call him back later.
Okay.
It's totally fine. We're trying to be professional here. That's why we got rid of the ammo crackers, and now we're like, hey, cell phone's ringing.
Steve Mathis.
Eli versus Marv. Your thoughts. Okay, you know what? I'll give a brief rundown of what happened first, and then we'll go into our thoughts. So,
one thing though, since this is the only thing we're going to talk about, the only thing I want to touch isn't on Anderson. Do you think at this point he just doesn't even care where he finishes?
Oh, he doesn't. And I heard actually last week that he was talking to some reporter that's like in the in-crowd, and he straight up told the reporter, maybe it was Cooksey, I don't remember, but he straight up told the reporter, if I win this title, I don't give a shit about outdoors.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
So don't expect him to do anything outdoors.
I think he'll be good, like I said, but I think he'll be a top 5 guy. But like I said, I don't think he's going for the win. And it was very apparent last night early that he's just like, nah, y'all gonna go.
Yep.
Because I mean, he won the heat race, so it's like we know that his speed was there, but he's like, nah, it track's too gnarly.
Yep.
So anyway,
anywho, okay, so basically, long story short, the first 18 minutes of the race.
Dude, I'd even go 19 and a half.
Eli follows Marv around. All of a sudden, like 2 to go, Eli makes a move through the whoops and just blows by Marv in the sand section. Just legitimately, he came through that short whoop section at Mach 10, straight up James Stewart status, speed, and whoops. Over the triple side-by-side, whipped it through the sand corner, and he was gone. Absolutely. Checked out. See you later. Bye. Thanks for coming.
In that section.
In that section.
Yep.
White flag comes out, and they go into, what corner was it?
It was before the 3-5-3 for the triple.
Okay.
After the first rhythm.
Okay. And Marv goes in, makes contact with him. Eli's bike ends up, his throttle grip ended up wrapped up in Marv's
And it wasn't
chain.
that, though. It wasn't originally that, though, because if you go back and watch it again, watch it in slow-mo, it was when Barsha hit his, like, that maybe caused a little bit of bendage, but when Barsha hit it and it ripped the bike out from underneath him, like, that was just sayonara. It was done.
Yeah, so, anyway, and that's basically what happened. So, before we get into the yes, no, maybe so, too, did you think it was funny how far ahead they were of everyone? That, like, that happened. Not only did that happen, he was slow to pick it up. Then he gets hit by Barsha. He's even slower to pick it up, and he still got second.
Oh, I was surprised. I was looking at the live timing, and I was like, oh, I was thinking, and then I looked at it, and Eli's like 25 seconds back, and then there was another 7 seconds to Ando. I'm like, holy crap. I guess I wasn't paying attention to the screen that it was that far.
I was, and I was like, wow, they were way ahead. Before that, I was even looking. So anyway, your thoughts on the contacts between the two.
Okay, so anybody that watches this show knows that I am not a Marvin Musquin guy. I don't like his attitude. I think he is low-key cocky. He is like watching poetry in motion, so I appreciate his riding style. And people will probably think this is kind of a contradiction to the way we were last year with Eli. I like Eli. I don't have a problem with him, but in the 450 class, my guys, Ken Roxon and Weston Pike. I wanted Eli to win last year the moment that Kenny went out because I wanted to see somebody else other than Dungey. So I'm trying to make this clear for people that I'm not taking one side or the other. The way I look at it is okay, Eli got a little bit of a gap. It's the last lap, one-line track. It's very hard to push the pace because of how gnarly and hard-packed it got. You didn't want to override the bike because it was very apparent the traction was at a minimal. And Eli stayed tight to the inside rut. He was coming out of the apex. And I think Marv, in his mind, had it played out in a scenario that Eli was going to start arcing towards the exiting of the corner and Marv was just going to run it in. Well, I think he pushed in a little bit deeper than he anticipated, and as you could see, he started scoring off up the face so he could pivot out to the exiting of the corner. Well, his forward momentum kept coming in, slammed his front end, took him out. No problem with the move whatsoever. I do not care at all. We see it worse every week. Hell, good example, 250 heat, last lap. Ramy Alves decides to bonsai into Cody Van Buskirk, like wide open, feet off the pegs, feeling like a squid. We see stuff like that in the LCQ all the time, and we commend him. Well, because it's Marv, and Marv doesn't have as many fans as Eli, even though some people would say otherwise. Let's be real. Eli is one of the most favored guys in the class or in all of racing when it comes to riding a dirt bike. People had an issue with it. I don't. Don't leave the door open. You have to anticipate, and that's part of racecraft, of who is on the inside of you. And it was even that said after the whole thing when the Barsha incident earlier this year with Eli. And let's not be quick to forget, what was Eli trying to do to Ryan Dungey last year in Vegas? Like, perfectly. He was trying to run it on his front end.
I'm not going to argue with you on this.
I'm just trying to get the points across. And people say, well, it was for a championship. I seem to remember a Zach Osborne incident that put Joey on the ground and hit him just as hard. Let's go back to 2011 Atlanta, last lap, Chad Reed, James Stewart. James is literally at the exiting of the corner. Reed never rounds a corner, completely goes for the exiting, takes his front end out. Been seeing this stuff for years. These dudes need to get over it. I get why Eli's pissed. I'd be pissed too. But guess what? These guys aren't racing for a championship at this point. It's about winning races. And guess what? 50K or 100K, whatever they get for a bonus win, like people think, well, oh, you know, people forget that these dudes are wealthy, very wealthy, but they're not making as much money as football players, basketball players, baseball players, hockey players. That's a lot of money to anybody. Like 100K or even 50K for a bonus is great. So Anybody that has an issue with it, you're fooling yourselves. Anybody would do it, because don't sit there and tell me that Kenny, Ando, Barcia, or even Coop, now granted Coop hasn't won one in the 450, been in the 250 class, wouldn't have done the same damn thing, because they would have. Plain and simple. I have no issue with it. I do not care. Last lap, dude, it's fair game. Other than completely T-boning somebody, which is, I don't know if you've seen, I know you've been busy this morning, but a lot of people are confusing this with a T-bone. The literal definition of a T-bone is hitting somebody square right in the center and making a T.
Yeah. He wasn't going for the tib fib break, but I'm here to tell you from watching it now a couple of times, seeing the pictures of right at the contact.
Yep.
Marv was not making that turn.
No, he wasn't. He came in hotter than he thought.
Marv was going to 3/4 of the turn, and that's where he was going, and he was going to block Tomac, whether it took both of them out or not.
Yep.
And he happened to get lucky. Now, I'm with you. I'm not going to say it was a dirty move. Like, was it dirty? Yes, it was. Okay? But I'm not going to say that not everyone else would have fucking done it. And the thing is, though, and we've seen it already this year with, say, Eli and Coop. Okay? Eli, I think, is getting to the end of his wits with this. Because even though, like, this year it's not obviously the end of the world, you look at some of the stuff that happened last year, and, you know, granted, he brings a lot of it on himself, but there's certain points that you go, well, if this wouldn't have happened also, he might have won this title or whatever. And he's going to get tired of getting pushed around. Like I said, we've already seen it. We saw it with Coop earlier.
Well, Barcia even. Go back to the Barcia incident. And guess what? He talked all this smack and he never did anything about it.
So, I think the issue you're going to run into here is at some point you're going to push him past his limit, and he's just going to be like, fine, if this is how you guys want to play and we're going to play this way, when I've tried to be respectable and pass everyone pretty fairly, then we'll play it that way. And I'm not really sure that Eli Tomac is the guy you want, because he's fast enough that even if you come up, take him out like Marv did last night, okay, if that happens with 5 laps to go, Marv isn't going to ride the rest of the season.
Problem is that Eli has proven, though, that he doesn't know how to take people out without taking himself out. So he wants to get...
I don't think that would have bothered him last night. I think,
I don't think so either.
I think 5 laps... But what I'm saying is you're fucking with the guy that when you snap him, he's fast enough to catch you.
But the problem is that's good for everybody else, though, because then he's going to get in a Justin Barcia scenario at the beginning of his career where he's so pissed off that all he cares about is getting revenge on people. And I'm sorry... I get where you're coming from, and I agree, because you don't want to screw with a guy that can make up that time if you put him on the ground. But the problem is that also, we've come to see that Eli is a little bit of a head case. If Eli has only revenge and not putting the track together, guess what? He's probably going to hit the ground 3 or 4 more times before he gets to somebody. And I'm sorry, if I'm Jason Anderson or I'm a Justin Barcia, or even when Kenny and him were in it, I'm not afraid of Eli Tomac as an aggressive rider, because Eli, he may want to put off this really tough demeanor and then play Mr. Nice Guy, but... guaranteed, and I know that we're talking about a little bit of shoulda, coulda, woulda, but say that's Weston Pike. You think he gets in Weston Pike's face and talks all this smack like he did with Marv in the press conference? He didn't get in his face. But Eli's only going to say it to somebody that he thinks that he can intimidate. He's not going to say that to somebody like Weston Pike if that would have been Weston in the role. And I know that Weston's not as fast as Eli, so that's a lot of, you know, over-exaggerating and stuff. But I'm here to tell you, if that's somebody else, Eli's not... Last week... We've definitely gone under 30 minutes quite a few times now.
Yeah. This one isn't going to be.
No.
All right, and we're back.
All right, so anyways, we're picking up left off where Eli and stuff. We apologize, guys. We keep having technical difficulties, but shit happens.
We have some really awesome batteries going on. I guess I should buy some new ones. Anyway.
So anyways, I get it. Eli's pissed. I'd be too. But there's a lot of people that I can guarantee, and we have a close friend that's a Eli Tomac supporter. Not going to name names, but if he watches the show, you know what I'm talking about. If the roles are reversed... How many people do you think actually have an issue with that last night if it's Eli doing it tomorrow?
No,
because I can guarantee
absolutely no one. Absolutely no one. It's great for us because, number one, it creates controversy.
Yeah,
it creates talking stuff for us to talk about because the title obviously is pretty much wrapped up.
Oh, yeah. It's
and then you get to the press conference, and that creates even more. The fact now, okay, and this is not the first time. I know you don't always watch the press conferences. This is not the first time.
Had to watch this one, though.
Tomac has brought up New York from last year.
Well, now that it's come out that Dunge even said that, like, this happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge deal. And last night was awesome. For anyone who hasn't watched the press conference, I highly suggest going to watch it.
Already got like 50K looks.
I will link it below, too, for anyone. But, and if you don't want to, go down there, click it right now, then come back. But anyway, I mean... Eli straight up said last night, so you guys can fix a race in New York, but when I take someone out in freaking Vegas, I get a $5,000 fine. Well, that's bullshit.
My question here, though, is that after reading that, and I've seen a lot of mixed reviews, even people that are fans of Eli, he kind of is starting to act like a petulant child. Because I get he's pissed off about it, but let's face it, Marv doesn't even let Dungey over in that race last year. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter because Eli made it. He put himself in a hole. He rode like shit that year. So I get where he's pissed. Don't get me wrong. I get that he's upset about it. But, dude, it's last year. Stop bringing it up because it's not the first time he's done this.
But the thing is, we didn't talk about it. No one talked about it last year. It is what it is. That's just the way things go. Yep. Marv made a mistake. You know, that's what it was. And now it's out in the light. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think
we all knew.
Everyone, yeah, I mean, if you were a moto guy and you watch it, you knew. Yeah. But now that it's out in the open, I think that's why it continues to get brought up. By next year, I don't think it'll make a difference.
Well, and like I said, Eli just keeps getting upset about this, and I get where he's frustrated. But, dude, you got to know who you're racing. And let's be real. Marv's done this to Eli outdoors almost every time last year when they raced each other. Yeah. Hell, remember Hangtown second moto? Mm-hmm. Marv was just going inside out, running him ride, all the way to the edge, even off the track a couple times. But I'm sorry, dude. I think that these guys, I get he's pissed. And I don't like dirty riding because sometimes if guys don't know how to set up, they can make it worse, a la a couple things that Mike Alessi has done in the past, you know? So you got to know, even though you're not trying to be dirty, you know it's going to push the edge. You got to know how to set yourself up instead of just bonsaiing into somebody. You got to know where your breaking point is. But I grew up in an era where I seen guys literally get T-boned off the top side or back side of berms and go flailing off under the concrete. Like, these guys just need to realize, get over it. Like, it's for a win. Now, if that happens on the second lap, oh, I'm pissed. Mm-hmm. I'm not on board with any of that. But it's for the last lap, dude. It's the win. Like,
it's kind of like the Osborne thing last year. I was like, fucking do it, bro.
Gotta do it, bro. Dude, title. And $50,000. I'm sorry, but I'd take out my grandmother for $50K. Like, I don't give a crap.
I'm T-boning somebody for $50K.
I don't care.
For winning the race, yeah.
So, I mean, I get why he's frustrated, but the only thing that's funny to me is the fact that Marv kind of backpedaled a little bit on the whole thing, and Eli was very consistent about what he said. Mm-hmm. But it shows that Marv, even though he did apologize, he's not a confrontational person. That's just not who his character is. So, like, what did people expect? Like, he was just going to be like, oh, yeah, I took him out, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, that's not who he is. So, do I like it? I don't like seeing it all the time. But, dude, that's for a 450 win. I would have said the same thing in a 250 win.
I think part of it, though, is, like, I know Marv's a nice guy, and he's not confrontational.
He tries to be.
But it's like, dude, just own it. Like, just be, like, you didn't even have to say, hey, I was deliberately trying to take him out. You just had to be like, dude, I was going for the win.
And if that's Barsha, Kenny, Ando, anybody, they're saying, I did what I did.
I did what I did.
It's
I did it for the win.
Yeah, like, plain and simple.
So,
and you know what? Now Marv realizes, hey, payback might be coming this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? Knowing Eli, I don't think it is. I think Eli's going to be all this talk, and he's going to be super upset.
It depends. Okay, here's how I think it'll go down. I think if Eli's good at the track, he'll just run away with it.
Yes.
However, if he's not, and he's like same speed as Marv, because here's the thing. Let's be real. I don't think Marv is on the same level speed-wise. I mean, we've watched it all year, and everyone touted it coming in that Marv was going to be the next guy, kind of, and he was fast, and he was going to win all these races, and he hasn't. He straight up hasn't. And now, yes, he's had the injury and stuff, but still, hell, we saw it last year. He didn't win a bunch of races last year either.
No.
I think he's too far along in his career to be that guy that dominates every single weekend. Can he run up front? Can he run top 5 every weekend? Yes. Can he get wins? Yes. But he's not going to be the Eli Tomac that wins 10 races in a season.
I'm going to go so far as to say that if Barsha didn't have his issues last night and stuff with the way he rode in the heat races, there could have been a good possibility. He could have been battling for a win. I mean, look, Eli passed him straight up, and Barsha ran him wide, and granted, it was the last lap before the finish, but with the way Barsha rode, who knows? Maybe he wins last night if he doesn't have it.
Is it sad that Barsha passed Tomac cleaner than Marv?
Yeah, I know. Well, Barsha's trying to, reform a little bit and stuff, but, I mean, these guys need to realize, like, don't leave the door open. You got to know who you're racing, and Weston said the same thing on Pulp. He said, hey, man, like, there were times Barsha cleaned me out and stuff when we were even teammates, but I knew that's just how he is. When you get locked into race mode, he's just got to know. And now Marv knows, hey, maybe payback's coming. But the thing is that Marv's shown that he doesn't have a problem doing the same thing back to Eli. Mm-hmm. So I don't have an issue with it. It's for a win. All these people need to get over it. I mean, you can pretty much check social media. Ricky and RV have no issue with it. RV said, hey, dude, 100K bonus. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
And RC goes, I've seen worse.
Yeah. And McGrath's like...
He had a different look on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, McGrath wasn't necessarily, like, pissed about it, but he's like, dude, he didn't try to make that turn.
Yeah.
But then again, You have RC and RV aren't associated with Kawasaki, and MC is. So.
Yeah. And RV, you know, I don't know. You can look at it any way you want, but I mean, you know, Chisholm said the same and it's funny, we're actually coming up on it right now.
Yeah.
Chisholm said the same. Dude, you see, Filthy goes, I've seen worse than the LCQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have an issue with it like everybody else does. I really don't.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's when Barsha tagged him.
Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, I don't have an issue with it. We'll see what happens going into Salt Lake this weekend. I think it'll make things interesting. But I think that these guys need to be careful, though, and not get caught up in all the crap because we still have another, you know, series coming up this summer. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you don't really need to be getting into it with each other and getting each other's minds because there's a couple other people that have proven that, you know, you guys aren't the top dogs.
At least we got something to talk about.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
All right, so that's it for 450s. Yep. Let's move on to 250s. All right, 250s. Not a lot to cover here, so we'll make this rather quick. Mostly because we're hoping the battery doesn't die. So first off, Kyle Peters on the podium
with no knee.
With no knee. We shit on Kyle Peters in the prediction show.
Yes, we.
And he is totally just slapping us right in the face with. Yeah,
we suck. Yeah, that does suck. And what really makes it even worse is the fact that now because he was doing so well. He could have maybe had a shot at an outdoor ride, and now he has to get his knee fixed, and he's not going to ride at all.
Yep. So yeah, there's that. J-Mart, your dude.
What do you have to say about all this?
Dude, Tomac's teaching him how to go fast and not win a title.
Yeah, so, I mean...
that's basically what it is. He's going fast, but he's still not going to win a title. But
well, we talked about this a little bit, and, J-Mart, I defend him very avidly, and I think that he is a Supercross guy. He's just had some bad luck over the years with racecraft. But, yeah, he's pretty much proven that he might be the fastest guy riding the 250 right now in Supercross.
Might be. Yeah, might be. That was a hell of a ride from last to whatever. Yeah. And, I mean...
And I believe if he even if he gets up...
fourth, that's where it was.
Yeah, if he gets up maybe 15 seconds sooner, there's a possibility he tracks down Zacho.
Yeah.
Because his lap times, we still had the fastest lap time coming through the pack on a sketchy-ass track.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're Dan Bentley and Ziggy and all those guys at Factory Connection, Geico and stuff, you're thinking, man, only if those first two rounds didn't go to shit.
Yep.
Because I think we'd be having a different conversation. We didn't.
Might be.
And it sucks, but I think that, we talk about, and we're not going to go too deep into it because it's the West Coast, but we talk about Plessinger and his struggles and finally getting a win and getting that monkey off of his back. But J-Mart continues this in the outdoors. We might be a long summer for everybody else because 2015, 2014 J-Mart might be peeking his head back around the corner.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, because he was on fire last night.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but once again, Zacho extends the points lead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, and we talked about this, Zach pulls the move of lining up next to the guy he's basically racing against, but pulls the start. And as I said, if Zach doesn't pull that start, we're looking at a completely different race, different talk here. And the fact that Zach did pull the start and elbowed J-Mart behind him is what caused J-Mart to be back in the pack, caused J-Mart to crash.
And then Peters actually was the one who ran accidentally. I mean, J-Mart got a little bit of bar shake because he knifed it too hard, and then Peters had nowhere to go, hit him. He went off the track on that 3.53. But did you notice, and I don't know how much you got to watch practice, but you can even tell after the heat race and stuff, like how aggravated Zacho looked that he just could not match J-Mart's lap times. Like, I mean, he looked pissed. Like, he put in that heater, got it down to 55.2, and then he looks up at the board and he's like, I'm still 1.5 seconds slower. Yeah. And he's just, like, doing this. And I think, and now it doesn't really matter in the long, unless some crazy shit happens in Vegas. He's going to win this title. But I think we saw a little bit of a chink in Zacho's armor because you almost had a feeling the whole entire Fortner time. We talked back and forth, but I think Zacho in the back of his mind that knew, okay, this kid's, he's only second year. He's going to make the mistake. I don't think he can think the same. And, Savacci last year got into Joey's head. But I think he's looking at J-Mart and he's going, well, I know this dude doesn't struggle upstairs with the mental side of things. Like, he's a two-time champion, just like I am. So it's like, maybe we see a little bit going into outdoors if J-Mart finally, I mean, it's all, could, should, possibly, whatever. But I looked at it and I go, that I haven't seen Zacho do that. Like,
I haven't either, no. I noticed that too, yeah, especially in qualifying when he did that fast lap.
And I was thinking like, oh, he's going to be like in the 54s and stuff, and then I saw he was in like 52, and I'm like, whoa.
Yep.
I'm like, you know, and now he won, and like you said, he's going to win the title barring anything crazy, so that side of it doesn't matter. But I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of this, because, I mean, we've said for a while that if J-Mart Outdoors is the one guy... I don't know, man. Yep. It was just, last night's race was weird for not really much happening.
Yep.
You just kind of saw a side of Zacho that I don't think we've seen in a while.
Yep.
You know, so...
So, all right, cool. So, wrapping this up, picks for Salt Lake City.
I think the 250s, I mean, why not? I think Aaron Plessinger continues to keep going. It looks like it's going to be actually in the 80s come Saturday. It is a closer 2-day race. 3:30 start for those guys. So, I think AP wins. I think he extends the points lead. And, you know, 450s... Man, I don't know. With all this craziness, like, I don't think a mad Eli Tomac's going to come out. You know what? I'll just say for the hell of it, I think Marv wins again. Because I don't know, man.
Nah, I think Eli's going to win.
Maybe. I mean, we all thought he was going to win last night, too, and that didn't happen. And he didn't, honestly, and I watched your show.
It wasn't his own doing, though,
well,
really, so...
If we go back to Minneapolis, though, he didn't really win that one. I mean, he kind of only won because Anderson doesn't know how to get back on the side of a track.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know, I get where you're coming from. Like, I could easily see it because he had that crazy ride last year, but I think Marv wins, and I think Anderson just kind of, you know, just rides around.
Yeah, I think so too. Although the funny thing is, you know, Anderson's got the altitude sickness and can't take his pills and stuff, so they fly him in day of. And there was talk last week of like, well, what happens if the weather's shitty and he can't get there? Like,
I think he'll be fine. He was fine in Thunder Valley.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be okay at this point, but and especially if it's gonna be in the 80s. But still, there was that thought for a second of like, holy shit, if he can't get there, like he loses 26 points.
He's just not gonna wrap the title up in Salt Lake. I mean, he probably gets third again and stuff. But what about 250s though? Did you think Eli's gonna win?
Nah, I think AP's gonna win too in that one.
What do you think happened? Do you think Cincerello could make something of it, or do you think just the same thing?
I don't know. I hope.
Hey, you know what, though? It's not going to be a mutter. I mean, we might see a Hill-Plessinger battle, too.
Could see that, too.
You know, so...
All right, either way, it'll be interesting. This has been another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings and Animal Crackers. And, yeah, don't forget, follow us on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button. Instagram, Amazon links, Patreon links, Teespring, buy T-shirts. We will see everyone next week. Wrapping up Salt Lake City.